Hello, my beautiful friends, and welcome to our Nutrition Bootcamp call today. I apologize in advance to my coaches because they've heard this little spiel already because I did a live video last week in our coaches group. But I wanted to share it again with everybody, with all of you, everyone in my entire customer base, because I feel like it's a very important message. And who knows, maybe I'll share something different in a different light where even my coaches will be like, ooh, I hadn't heard that or thought of it that way before. And I'm so grateful she shared that. So today I wanted to talk about being authentically you, because there is so much going on in our world right now that I don't know about you, but it's truly challenged me to stop and reflect on who I am, how I am showing up to the world, how I'm showing up for myself, for my children, for my friends, for the people that I love. And just truly, it's been an awesome 2020. And I know some of you might hear that and be like, what? You're crazy. But it was actually one of my coaches, Jordan, who posted something. I can't remember if it was on her main feed or stories, but she said essentially that some people look at 2020 and think of it as a year like crashing, burning, awful, what the heck, like, can it be over already? I know it's June, but can we just be done? And other people are choosing to look at it as like, yeah, it's been a really hard year, but I'm choosing to sit in that hard and learn from it and truly take the time to reflect and be comfortable with being uncomfortable and be comfortable with being challenged and pushed and stretched to my limits in order to truly become the person that I was sent here to become, right? And with that said, I personally am on a journey in 2020 to become a better version of myself. And I'm not going to go into details because this is not the time or place to do that, but I have decided to start doing therapy and to start truly taking care of my mental and emotional health. And I told my therapist going into it, I am ready. I am ready to do the work that it takes to heal. And I know that it's going to hurt and I know that it's going to be hard, but I'm ready. I'm really, really ready to dig in to, like, just like a sliver, right? Like if you have a sliver anywhere on your body, you can't heal from it until you dig it out. And if you pretend it's not there, that doesn't do a gosh dang thing, right? It's going to get red and irritated and pussy, and it might cause an infection and it might cause deeper problems down the road. In order to heal from that sliver, you have to dig it out. And that digging process is incredibly uncomfortable and it hurts really bad. But the relief that comes once that sliver is out it's worth it, right? I'm going to shut my door so I don't wake up my kids. It is worth it. So with all that said, I decided this year I'm ready. I am ready to dig at my slivers. I am ready to feel that hurt, feel that pain, feel that uncomfort so that I can truly heal and become a better person all around. And so I started meeting one-on-one every Saturday morning with a therapist. And one of the things that she and I talked about most recently, it was like a week and a half ago, and like the timing, I don't believe in coincidences. I know that it was not by chance that we had this conversation right before the events of last week. But we were talking and she just asked, because we were kind of like in a lull of like, well, what do we talk about now type thing. And she asked me, like, is there anything that's been eating at you that feels really small that you like don't really want to bring up to me, or you've just kind of been shushing it because it doesn't really feel that significant? Like, is there anything like that that you can think of that you want to talk about? And I was like, well, yeah, actually, like I can think of something right away. And we went to Utah over Memorial Day weekend. We visited my family. It was fabulous. And she had given me some homework in a previous therapy session about living authentically true to myself. And my parents were divorced when I was 9 years old. My mom got remarried when I was 10. And I was just talking to her about like the relationship that I have with my stepdad. And I was talking to her about like, well, I just don't know who I'm trying to please, like my mom or my older sister. Because my mom really wants me to love him and be kind to him. And my older sister wants me to not. And this was like as a child, like in my past. My older sister now is not like, you should hate him, right? Because some of you might know who that is. But yeah, hate is a rude word, huh? You're exactly right. Thank you for reminding me. But I just was telling her, like, growing up, I just didn't know who I was trying to please, my mom or my older sister. And she was like, whoa, 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 pause right there. Where's Bryn in this equation? Why were you only just trying to please your mom or your older sister? Why were you not trying to please yourself? And I was like, that's a good question. And I don't know the answers to that. And I wasn't thinking about what I really wanted. I was just trying to please my mom or my older sister. And so we had that conversation. We went to Utah. And I knew that I had just been given this challenge from my therapist to be more aware of what Bryn needs and what Bryn wants and what would make Bryn happy, right? And so we went to Utah, and I was like really reflective of like, okay, with all this said, with all this done, my mom and my stepdad have been married now for 19 years, maybe 18. They got married in 2002 in February. So I think it's only 18. 18 years. And so it's been a long time, right? But there's still a lot of like not that great feelings and emotions and whatever. It comes with a blended family. And my mom wants me to call my stepdad Daddy. My older sister wants me to call my stepdad Rick. And again, thinking of this challenge, okay, what does Bryn want to call him? What is true and authentic to Bryn? Do I want to call him Daddy, or do I want to call him Rick? And that, like I said, like it seems so small and so insignificant and like this tiny little sliver, like I was saying earlier, right? But my therapist was telling me, okay, but the thing is, when you don't live authentic to who you are, even though it feels so small, and I shared with her, I want to call him Rick. Like that is what feels authentic to me. I want to start calling him Rick. And I'll call him Granddad around my kids because that's what he wants them to call him. And that's what they like to call him. And when I'm referring to him, I will call him Granddad. None of the other grandparents go by that name. So it's a great name for him to have as his own. And they know exactly who we're talking about when we call him Granddad. Yes, I will call him Granddad. But when it comes to me addressing him and not me talking about him to my children, I want to call him Rick. That feels authentic to me. And that's what I decided. And she was like, okay, great. Now that you've decided that, every time you call him Daddy and you're not living authentically to who you are and who you want to be, one second. Hi, Cat Noir. We found this new show on Netflix called Ladybug, and Holland likes to be this superhero. It's called Miraculous, actually. But anyways, Cat Noir is the superhero. You're amazing, huh, dog? Sorry. So every time you're not living authentically to who you are, you're chipping away at a tiny piece of your self-confidence. But you add it up over all the areas of your life that you're not living authentically to you, and you chip away at it over and over and over again. It's no wonder that we sit here and have no self-confidence, right? Because we did this thing when we really didn't want to, or we didn't do this thing when we really did want to, or we didn't speak up when we wanted to, or we were quiet when we should have spoken up, or whatever. Like when there's those desires deep in our hearts, when we're doing something or not doing something and not living authentic to who we are because of fear of opinions of others or judgment or whatever, it chips away a little bit at our self-confidence, because who are we? Who am I? who am I to stand up and be different, or to say this thing, or to whatever? Like, I'm just going to be small and be quiet and do my thing. And especially if you're a people pleaser like me, right? Like, you just want to please others. And, but when you do that and you don't live authentically to who you are, 10 years from now, 5 years from now, a year from now, you're going to be sitting here in this shell of a person, not knowing who you are and not knowing what you stand for. And if that, one of my favorite quotes is, if you don't stand for something, you'll fall for anything. And hello, the last week on social media, how many, I don't know if you're like me, but it was like all over the place. Like, I don't know what I believe, because like, I see this thing and I trust this person, and I see this thing, oh, and I trust this person, but now these things are conflicting and I don't know who to believe or what to do, or oh my gosh, I'm frazzled and stressed and anxious. And I'm like, oh my effing gosh, right? Like, sorry, that was not a very nice words coming out of my mouth, but if you're like me, you know exactly what I'm talking about. So it was last week was totally one of those, like, if you don't stand for something, then you'll fall for anything. And I read this graphic that I was like, oh my gosh, that is absolutely perfect. And I wanted to pull it up and totally failed to do so. Let me see if I can pull it up really quick, because I just feel like it described exactly my thoughts. Awkward pause for 2 seconds.
What are you looking at?
I am looking for a picture that Aunt Liz sent. Okay, so surrounding everything that happened on social media last week. Okay, so it said, being silent. You're not supporting the cause, you're part of the problem. Speaking up. You're supporting the cause incorrectly. What about X, Y, and Z? Spreading positivity. The world is not all sunshine and rainbows. Seriously, have you guys heard of toxic positivity? Being a realist. Why are you so negative? Being for protesting. You're supporting violence. Being against rioting. You're more worried about property than lives. Believing hashtag Black Lives Matter. Don't you know all lives matter? Believing all lives matter. All lives matter right now. All lives don't matter right now. You're part of the problem. Believing blue lives matter. You support corruption. What about COVID? There are bigger problems going on right now. Those affected by COVID don't matter. I've never been so confused in my life. Dinged if you do, danged if you don't. And I was like, yes. Like, no matter what you're supporting, no matter what message you're putting out there, you're wrong. You're gonna offend somebody. Somebody's gonna unfollow you. Somebody's gonna be pissed at you. Somebody's gonna about you, whatever. And I'm like, oh my gosh, like, I literally don't even know what to do with my life right now. And I just decided, what does Bryn want? Yes, I love X person, Y person, Z person, quadruple million people in my life. And do I want to offend anyone? No. But at the end of the day, who am I trying to please? And by trying to please everyone, I will please absolutely no one, especially not myself. I want to read another quote. Sorry, all the quotes, all the places. This is one of my favorite quotes by, I think it was Joy D. Jones. I know it was given in a conference talk called For Him. That's a conference, is like a semi-annual conference for people who are members of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. That's just like it's like a weekend full of like religious talks, and it's incredible. But she gave this talk years ago, and it's one of my absolute favorites of all times. But she said, and I think she was quoting someone else, so I don't know who the original source of this is. I'm sorry about that. But she said, if you are kind, people may accuse you of selfish, ulterior motives. Be kind anyway. What you spend years building, someone could destroy overnight. Build anyway. The good you do today, people will often forget tomorrow. Do good anyway. Give the world the best you have, and it may never be enough. Give the world the best you've got anyway. You see, in the final analysis, it is between you and your God anyway. Like all the feels, right? I don't know if you're like, oh, chills. Yep. Yeah. That ring true. Okay. No matter what you do in our culture right now, you're going to be wrong. You're going to offend someone. So I just really want to challenge you to live authentically to you. At the end of the day, what are you going to be pissed at yourself for doing or not doing? And if you need to be silent right now, be silent. And I give you permission to learn, to educate, to do the things that you need to do so that you say what is the best for you. And if that's nothing, that is okay. And if you're someone who's like, all lives matter, girlfriend, you do you. Or boyfriend, if you're a boy watching this, you do you. If you are hashtag Black Lives Matter, you own it. You do it. Don't care who you're offending or all the things that whatever you support, whatever you live for, whatever you stand by, do it. Get her done. Don't apologize. Don't worry about who you're offending. Just do it. Hashtag Nike. Okay. And if you're like me and you're like, I want all of it. Like, I love my African American friends. I love my police friends. I definitely don't want people to continue to be murdered. Like, the whole thing started because someone was wrongfully murdered. So let's like not continue to wrongfully murder people, right? If you're like me and you're like, all of it, let's just like world peace, right? Like miscongeniality status. I don't know the right thing to say. I don't know the right thing to do, but I do know at the end of the day, I gotta make sure that me and my relationship with God, we're good. I'm living authentic to me. And for me, authentic living, I gotta fill my cup. I gotta unplug from social media right now. I gotta get my books read, like hardcore. I gotta make sure I'm spending time with God in the scriptures, in conference, and just like truly filling my cup. Because last week I was a bad mom. Because I was like filling my cup with negativity and fear and anxiety, and I was pissed at everything my children did. Because don't they know what's going on in the world? No, they don't. They don't, and they shouldn't. My oldest is not even 4, and I have 3 kids that are 3.5 and under, and I need to protect them. And the way that I can protect them is to protect myself and to just love them, teach them absolutely to be kinder than our ancestors were, right? But I don't need to be filling my cup with fear and anxiety and all of these things. I need to be filling myself with the positive people that I love in my life. I need to be filling myself with books that lift me up, that make me feel better. I need to be working out so that I can have a healthy heart and a long life for them. I need to be fueling myself well so that I have the energy to be the person that I want to be, so that I can show up for all the people in my life that I love, black, white, kids, adults, all the things, right? So you gotta take care of yourself. Yes. Fill your own cup. Live authentically to who you are. And remember, at the end of the day, it's between you and God. And if you're not a religious person, you can tune this part out. But He'll know if you were racist or not. He'll know if you discriminated or not. He'll know how you could have done better. So if you truly want to make a difference, pray. Say a prayer. Heavenly Father, how can I do better? What can I do to truly make lasting change in this world? And your answer might be, raise good kids. Teach your kids how to love and stand up for other people. Whether they're disabled, African American, Hispanic, poor, rich, whatever, if you see someone being wrongfully mistreated by other people, no matter their color or creed or religion or socioeconomic status, you stand up for them. And that might be your answer. You raise a good kid, and that's the best contribution you can make in this world. But He knows more than any one of us. what you can do to make a difference for lasting change in this world. But I do know that you got to fill your cup and you got to live authentically to you. And if you're a religious person, you got to turn to God for real lasting help and change to know how you can make a difference in this world. I'm going to read the chat real quick. And then if you're on the recording, I'm going to peace out. And if you're on live, we can stay and chat. My girl Jordan said, yes, all the feels. I am such a people pleaser. And the analogy of slowly chipping away at who you are just resonates with me. And that is one of my favorite quotes. For real, no matter what, you will always upset someone. So be you. Yes, yes, yes. My girl Stephanie said, if you always cushion your response in effort to make other people feel better, you're not letting them have the opportunity to feel those feelings and grow as a person as they process them. Stephanie, that is a lesson I'm totally learning right now. I am by default a rescuer, and I never want other people to feel negative emotions, including myself. And so like that perspective is like all the yes. And that's something that I'm not very good at and that I'm trying to learn. Because I totally want to rescue my children. I totally want to rescue my husband. I totally want to rescue myself. I'm not very good at sitting in those hard things like I was talking about at the beginning and letting other people go through hard struggles because it's going to make them grow and be better as a result. So giving ourselves the courage and the permission to sit in the suck and giving other people permission to sit in the suck. Yep. Amen, Steph. I'm going to read what she said one more time, just in case you missed it. If you always cushion your response in effort to make other people feel better, you're not letting them have the opportunity to feel those feelings and grow as a person as they process them. Mic drop, right? Jordan said, I love that quote. Could you share it? All the feels. I'd love to read it again and again for real. I'm not sure which quote you were talking to. Probably the, if you're talking about the one that's like, if you are kind, people may accuse you of false or selfish ulterior motives. That one is on my Instagram. I posted it on Saturday. It was my caption. So this was the picture. So if that's the one you're talking about, just go like write that quote down. It's a good one. Love that. I don't know if I said another quote. If that's not the quote, okay, perfect, Jordan. Yeah, she's like, that one, awesome, thank you, sweet. Steph said, could you imagine if we cushioned every single feeling our kids ever had in an effort to keep them happy all the time? They would never learn how to cope with those uncomfortable feelings. We're still learning as adults. Amen. Amen. So much yes. Okay. All right, my beautiful friends. I hope this was helpful. Please love yourself, love your people, live authentically to you, pray for help if you're a person who believes in God. And I want to end with a quote. I am reading this book right now. Oh my gosh, I love it. Please get it. And it's cute. Like if you're a girl, cute things make a difference. But this book, it's literally like Pinterest in a book. Like she has like pictures of her family and there's like cute quotes and there's like places to write in it and the font is big and it's so good. And it's all about mom guilt essentially. So if you're a mom or you have little people in your life and sometimes you like just tell yourself that they take all the energy and all the things, you need this book. So get it. It's fabulous. But this is what I read this morning and it totally resonated with me. So she said, when I'm deep in the mess, feeling like everything in life is out of my control, like I'm never going to conquer even a little of my insurmountable to-do list, God always does something to strip me of my excuses for feeling blue. He allows me to walk through my mess and toward a reality check with little moments of joy and reminders that even when life is hard, it's good.
Mom, can I color on this?
Sure. Through it all, he's with me. He wants me to know that it's never as bad as I think it is. When I finally get over myself and look at my circus from a new perspective, I feel grateful that I get to live in this craziness every day. And with everything going on social media, like I was like, the world sucks. We're all going to die and everything's going to implode tomorrow. Stephanie's laughing, but seriously. And then on Saturday, I went, and this might make me emotional, but that's fine. we had a block party, and where I live, we are one of the only white families in our cul-de-sac. We have 3 African-American families in our cul-de-sac. We have 2 Hispanic families in our cul-de-sac and 1 Asian family. Nope, 4. 4 African-American families. Yes, 4 African-American families. So in our cul-de-sac, the African-American population outnumbers the white ones. And we got all together. My across the street neighbor rented this huge blow up water slide. We had a blast. And every single person came from our cul-de-sac that was in town. Let's be real. There were a couple people who were out of town. But every single person came with their kids. The adults were having a blast chatting and talking together. The kids were having a blast together, and race did not matter. And no one said a word about what is going on in the world right now. No one said anything. I never heard the word coronavirus. I never heard Black Lives Matter. I never heard All Lives Matter. I never heard Blue Lives Matter. It was just love and friendship and all the awesomeness that I was just reminded of. There is good in the world. We just have to open our eyes to see it. And we just have to be loving and kind toward the people in our circle. Because really, that's all we can do, right? We can open our mouths to be the best light and influence for good that we can be. And really, that's all we can do. We can't change everyone, but we can change ourselves. We can change our families. And one more quote. I'm sorry, that just reminded me of one thing that I saw that I loved.
No, we really have to go downstairs.
Okay, we'll go downstairs in 2.5 seconds, okay?
No, that's a long time.
That's a long time. 2.5 seconds is not a long time. Okay. I shared this on my Insta stories. So there's a quote. I don't know who said it. Actually, it's an unknown monk in 1100 AD. When I was a young man, I wanted to change the world.
I really want
African cats. Okay, one sec. When I was a young man, I wanted to change the world. I found it was difficult to change the world, so I tried to change my nation. When I found I couldn't change the nation, I began to focus on my town. I couldn't change the town, and as an older man, I tried to change my family. One sec, pause for a fact.
There's zebras, buffaloes, rhinos, and giraffes.
So cool. You have a giraffe on your shirt.
So will you get those giraffes, rhinos, buffaloes?
Yes, let me finish talking to my friends and then I'll go get those. Do you want to go start looking in your box?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll come help you in a sec. Sorry. When I was an older man, I tried to change my family. Now, as an old man, I realize the only thing I can change is myself. And suddenly I realized that if long ago, sorry, I tapped out of it.
And all we need
Is it buffalo?
buffalo.
Okay, go grab it. I'm gonna start over.
I don't know where it is.
Sorry. I'll come help you. Please let me finish, okay? Now, as an old man, I realize the only thing I can change is myself. And suddenly I realized that long ago, if I had changed myself, I could have made an impact on my family. My family and I could have made an impact on our town. Their impact could have changed the nation, and I indeed could have changed the world. Change yourself. Change your family. Your family will change your nation. The nation will change the world, and we'll just all be loving and Christ-like and awesome. Okay? Okay. If you're on the call, I love you. I hope this was helpful. If you're on live, stay on live. We'll chat for as long as my son will let me. And I will see you all